Hello, my name is Kelsey Nygren, and I'm here to talk to you about some things that are very precious to me. This is my memory box. It's pretty big, I know, but I have some things in here that wouldn't fit in anything smaller. So the first thing I have are some old cookbooks. This one was printed in 1985. It's 100 Classic Recipes by Pillsbury. And I have this in my memory box because my mom gave me a bunch of these old floppy recipe books when I first moved away to college. She's a big cook, and we always had amazing meals at my house. But now that I was going to move away, she figured I would have to cook for myself eventually and pass these down to me. I think they still have a lot of the best recipes I've tasted. Oh, next is this beautiful cross. I know it's pretty simple, really, when you look at it, but this has always hung in either my mom's house or my grandmother's house. And again, when I moved away, after college this time, when I got an apartment, she gave it to me because she figured it was time for me to have it hanging in my own house. And then we have this. This quilt, well, crocheted blanket really, was done by my aunt. She loves to sew and crochet and quilt. She does everything crafty. And even though the colors are, maybe the best choice, it's a beautiful blanket and very warm. And whenever I have it out, I think of her. But none of that is what I'm here to talk to you about today. Today, I'm going to talk about these earrings. They are small diamond earrings. I don't know if you can see them real well. And I've had them for quite a few years now. But in order to really get the story of the earrings, you need the story of where they came from, which is what I'll be sharing with you. Picture it, if you can. Anderson, Indiana, 1947. Naomi Spall and Roland York had just finished high school. They were high school sweethearts, and they were about to get married. Now, these are my grandparents on my mother's side, and to me, they had what I think of as a great love. You know, the kind in movies or a book, the kind Nicholas Sparks would love to write about, the kind of love that you don't see very often, and even if you do see it, you don't really believe it. That was their kind of love, and everyone around them knew it. Well, it was 2 years after high school, and my pampa, as I called him, was about to go into the Navy. And he wrote my grandma every day, as much as he could, so often. We still have some letters that he wrote her, actually, but unfortunately they're at my home in El Paso, so I could not bring those for my memory box today. But these letters, they talked of undying love and everlasting devotion. You'd probably roll your eyes at them, but really, they're sweet. And I think they really showed what kind of a man my grandfather was, him and my grandma, when they were still together. I say still together because, you see, my grandfather had an addiction. If you think their love was great, then it was only eclipsed by his love of alcohol. He told my grandma many times that he would quit. He was done with it. He wasn't going to drink anymore. But that never really happened. But when he was sober, he was sweet and kind, and someone my grandmother could have easily fallen in love with, as she did. Anyway, after he left the Navy, my pampa took a job at an electric corporation, and he traveled all over the country, even to Jamaica, even for a few years, because he was so high up in the company. That was just part of his job, all this traveling. And it was hard on my Nana. It was really hard having to move the family and 3 kids. My mother was the youngest, but it got hard on her after a while, but she kept with it because she loved him. She loved my pampa so much. And she was high society, my grandmother was. She loved having dinner parties and throwing extravagant events, and she was just high class, high class. Anyway, let's flash forward a few years. It's their 40th wedding anniversary, and he takes her to a glitzy restaurant that she can't help but love at first sight. And it's beautiful there, and they have a wonderful meal, and he's kind and sweet, just like he always tried to be. And then, when they were finished eating, they danced. And when my Pampa and Nana danced, oh, every eye in the room was on them. No one could look away. They were just so beautiful and so good at what they did. Well, at the end of the evening, my Pampa gave my Nana this necklace. It was pretty gaudy, but she loved it. It was in a heart shape, and it was covered with diamonds. And he said, what he had said always before, how much he loved her and how they would always be together. Well, that was probably one of the last gifts he ever gave her. They divorced a few years later, unfortunately, and my Pampa died not long after that because of his alcohol addiction. Even if their love was great, it just couldn't be overcome. So, my grandmother, after he died, gave a lot of the things he gave her away. She couldn't stand to be near them because she did love him very, very much, but it was just too painful for her. And one of the things she gave my mom was that heart necklace. Now, neither my mom or I were ever going to wear that necklace because even if it was beautiful, it just really wasn't us. So she took it to a jewelry store and had it repurposed. Most of the diamonds came off, and she put them in a cross of hers, and it's very beautiful. She wears it almost every day. But 2 diamonds. These 2 diamonds she made into earrings for me. And I still wear them as much as I can because to me, these earrings speak of something more. Even if their marriage ended and it was hard on them, my Nana and my Pampa had something beautiful, something extraordinary. And for me, having these pieces, these diamonds, shows that even if something falls apart, it can still be beautiful in the end. And that is my memory. Thank you so much for listening.